Managers need access to Engage online portal in order to complete absence management tasks like return to work interviews and review meetings. You can set up the user account when creating the employee profile or later on, for example, if the employee is promoted to a managerial role. You need administrator access to edit employee profiles. This video is in 3 parts. The first part explains how to create a user account and what the different access permissions mean. The second part shows how to assign a team to a new line manager, and the third part explains how the user account is activated. Let's take a look at creating a new employee profile with manager access. Open the Employees page under the Administration tab. Click on the New Employee button. I'm creating a profile for Peter Adamson as an example. Once you've filled in all the standard employee details, you'll see the question, does this employee need a login for Engage or to receive notifications at the bottom of the form? Select Yes. If you want your user to have access to absence records, you must add their email address. This serves as their username. If the employee is already working at your company, their account activation email can be sent to them automatically when you save the profile by selecting Yes to the account activation question. If the employee has not yet started in the role, it's best to come back and send the activation email to them later because the link is only valid for 3 days. A new link can also be sent if they miss the 3-day window. Here you can add a work mobile if the manager would like SMS alerts. If they don't have a work mobile number or you're unsure about the need for SMS, it's best to leave this blank. The user can always add a number in their personal preferences. Next, we need to set data access permissions. This is where you grant the right level of access to your users. Please be mindful of data protection regulations when selecting what access to give each person. If you choose not to enable absence access, the user will only be able to request holiday, provided that your company subscribes to our holiday feature, and will not see the absence menu. If your user needs to access absence data, select Yes to see the next set of questions. By default, Line Manager permission is enabled here. A line manager can be assigned as a direct supervisor to an individual employee. If you want to make this employee a line manager, you need to save his record and then assign a team to him. We'll go through this in part 2. The next option is Departmental Manager. This is for more senior managers who might not have a direct line managerial responsibility for everyone, but who need access to full departmental data. The same user can be both a line manager and a departmental manager. The department access is granted for all departments or restricted to specific sites or teams in your organization tree. A departmental manager can see the absence, holidays, and reports. Next, we have Administrator permission. This is someone who can access the administration area. They'll be able to add and remove employees and set access permission for other users. Their admin access can also be restricted to only some parts of the company if needed. An administrator does not have access to the reports area unless they also have a manager permission. A coordinator is someone who needs to be able to receive absence alerts by email or SMS, but who should not have access to absence records online. By enabling the coordinator permission, the user's name will appear in the trigger settings area as a possible alert recipient, but they will not be able to view any absence records or reports in the online portal. Our test user, Peter, is a new line manager, but he does not need departmental or admin access, so I'll just enable the line manager permission for him. I don't need to enable the option for coordinator either, because a line manager already has a higher level of access than a coordinator. There's one more access option for users who need to be able to receive SMS messages, but who do not have access to email. This would normally only be used for on-call coordinator phones, which are handed over at the end of the shift and do not belong to a named person. This could also be used if a supervisor has been given a work mobile but does not have a work email and you want to avoid sending employee absence details to a personal email address. You can only enable this option if you've selected No for the online login. To activate coordinator alerts, the user will need to be added as a recipient to special trigger settings, and you should discuss this with your system administrator or contact support@honeydew-health.com to discuss your requirements in more detail. Let's see how to assign Peter as a line manager to his team. There are a couple of different ways to do this. First option is to find the individual employees he supervises in the list. For example, Ben Bloomberg will now report into Peter. To update this, open Ben's profile and edit the line managers to assign this role to Peter Adamson. Peter is also taking over the role from Joe Bloggs, and therefore all the direct reports need to be reallocated from Joe to Peter. You can do this in one go by editing the old manager's details. Open Joe's profile, and below his employee role there's a link that says Edit Relationships. This opens a new page where you can assign all his managerial roles to a new user who is taking over the role. The page also opens automatically if you're trying to make someone a leaver while they still have an active manager role in the system. If the manager responsibilities will be split between more than one new manager, you can download the employee list and allocate the new managers to the correct team members, and then use the data upload feature to update these in bulk. Watch the tutorial video for data uploads for more detailed guidance on this. I chose the option to automatically send an account activation email to Peter. Here, below his email address, you can see that Peter has not yet completed the activation, and you have a link to resend the email to him. You'll be able to do this as many times as you need until the account is activated. At that point, the link will disappear and online access already activated will be shown instead. Users can also request a new activation link on the login page. Simply go to engage.honeydew-health.com and enter your work email in the Not Yet Registered field. If the email has been recorded on the profile by the administrator, the activation email will be sent to the user. Remember that you can revoke or change the access permissions on the employee profile at any time. It's a good idea to audit your company's access permissions from time to time by exporting the list from the reports section under the admin reports. This will show you all the active employees and what level of access they have.